Hello everyone, I am Dr. Ritu Sharma from Government College Chhachroli, Yamunanagar, Haryana. Welcome to my English class. Today in this class we will discuss a very important poem of Alexander Pope, Know Then Thyself. Before going through the poem, I would like to tell you something about Alexander Pope. Alexander Pope is considered as one of the greatest English poets and the foremost poet of the early 18th century. He was born to Catholic parents in London on May 21, 1688. He was largely self-educated. He experimented with various literary and poetical forms. Dealing with social and intellectual themes, his poetry exposed the social hypocrisies and vanities of his contemporaries. He brought the heroic couplet to perfection. Pope's poetry characterized by cryptic utterance and wise sayings and expressed in pithy couplets. Pope's work approaches his own goal of being what often was thought but never so well expressed. Now come to the poem. Here in your screen there is the text of the poem Know Then Thyself. The poem Know Then Thyself is an extract taken from an essay on man that is considered to be a sublime work of poetry. Pope wrote this poem at the request of his friend Lord Bolingbroke. The poem argues that human beings should learn to look at themselves and try to learn about their own natures, powers, limitations, and weaknesses. Now, we try to understand the explanation of the poem line to line. First of all, I am going to read out the first stanza of the poem. Know then thyself, presume not, go to scan. The proper study of mankind is man. Placed on this isthmus of a middle state, a being darkly wise and rudely great, with too much knowledge for the sceptic side, with too much weaknesses for the stoic pride. In this poem, the poet Alexander Pope advises man that he should not try to study God. He advises man to limit himself only to the study of his own nature and existence, and not try to investigate the power of judging the schemes of universe propounded by God. If he wants to study mankind, he should study himself. He is a combination of opposite qualities. He is a combination of ignorant as well as knowledge. He is rude and great. He has so much knowledge that he can't be accepted. He has so much weaknesses. He has so much weaknesses that he can't be indifferent to pain. He has so much weaknesses that he can't be indifferent to pain and suffering. Owing this, he can't develop the stoic attitude. Pope relates man on the middle state, which on the hands endows him with godlike qualities, and on the other levels him down with the animals. In this way, these lines sum up the living contradiction of man's nature. I am going to read out the second stanza. He hangs between in doubt to act or rest, in doubt to deem himself a god or beast, in doubt his mind or body to prefer, born but to die and reasoning but to err. Alike in ignorance, his reason search whether he thinks too little or too much. As we already discussed, man is a paradox of the world. He is always in doubt. He can't decide whether to work hard in life or to be satisfied with his present position. He fails to decide whether he should prefer the physical pleasures or the intellectual things of life. He is born but to die. Either a man thinks too little or too much. He can't overcome his ignorance. Pope sums up this stanza by pointing out that his birth is nothing but the beginning of his end, and reasoning but an instrument of erring. Here is last stanza of the poem. Cause of thought and passion, all confused, still by himself, abused or disabused, created half to rise and half to fall. Great Lord of all things, yet a prey to all. Sole judge of truth in endless error huddle, the glory, gist and riddle of the world. Man is a confused mixture of thoughts and feelings. He often remains confused and fails to decide between different courses of action. Man's disability prevents him from taking any single direction. One aspect of his nature cancels out another. He is the master of everything because he is blessed with power of reason by God. But even then, he becomes a victim of all things around him. He is the glory of the world because God has given him the gift of knowledge and wisdom. But at the same time, he is also a jest of the world as he commits many mistakes in his life. So, he is a riddle also as he doesn't know whether he belongs to the category of angels or to the animals. So, the poet Alexander Pope discussed many poetic devices in the poem. The poet has used couplets. In a couplet, the last word of the first line rhymes with the last word of the second. In order to stress his point, the poet has used a number of poetic devices like paradox, repetition, etc. These devices give force and meaning to the poem. I hope this explanation will help you to understand the poem thoroughly, and thank you for watching video.